All right, so have you ever been in that spot where you know you understand your IGCSE business stuff, but your grades just don't show it? Yeah? Well, this explainer is totally for you. We're going to crack the code on turning those good answers into great ones. Because look, it's not just about memorizing definitions, it's about actually using them to tackle real-world business problems.
And the secret to hitting those top grades? It's not buried in some textbook. Nope. It's all about mastering the skills that make up a whopping 65% of your total marks. We're talking about the higher level skills that go way beyond just remembering facts.
So how do you get your hands on those marks? Well, it all boils down to three absolutely crucial skills: application, analysis, and evaluation. Get these right and you are on a one-way trip to the top grades. Ready to get into it? Let's start with the first one.
First up is application, or what the examiners like to call AO2. You got to think of this as the foundation for any top-tier answer, and it's worth a massive 30% of your entire grade. So yeah, let's make sure we nail this one.
So, what does application actually mean in plain English? It means you have to stop giving those generic, one-size-fits-all answers. You've got to start using the specific clues, names, and numbers that are right there in the case study.
Okay, just look at this slide for a second. It's kind of crazy what a few little words can do, isn't it? The generic answer on the left, that could be about any company on the planet. But check out the applied answer. It drops in the company name QAC, and a key fact. It's 70 different cleaning products. Right there, you're showing the examiner, hey, I'm not just spitting back a definition, I'm applying it to this business.
And that leads us to the golden rule here. Always use the name swap test. If your answer about a bakery could still work for a car company just by swapping the name, you haven't applied it. It's that simple. And this slide shows you exactly how to fix it. Get specific and use the data they give you.
Okay, now that we've got application down, let's build on it with our next skill, analysis. This is where we take that solid foundation of context and go deeper. This is AO3, and it's where you can bag another 22% of your total mark.
For analysis, you need to think like a business detective. You're connecting the dots. It's not enough to say what happens. You have to explain how and why it happens. What are the knock-on effects for the business?
The real key here is to build a chain reaction, a logical sequence of events. Use phrases like "this leads to" or "which results in," start with an action, explain the immediate consequence, then the wider impact, and finally, link it all back to a big business outcome like profit or sales. You see? Each step just flows logically from the one before it.
Now let's make this real. When an examiner hands you a chart like this one, they're not just testing if you can read. They want you to analyze it, not just describe what you see.
And this slide right here perfectly shows that jump from just seeing something to actually analyzing it. Don't just say, production workers have the highest total salary. Dig deeper. What does that mean? You could say something like, well, the data implies that while letting go of production workers saves more money overall, a smarter move might be to remove one highly paid director to get big savings with less disruption. See the difference?
All right, we've nailed application and analysis. Now for the final boss, evaluation, or AO4. This is where you step into the role of a CEO, weigh up all the evidence, and make the final call. Now, evaluation is not just about picking a side and saying, this one's best. No way! It's about showing you've thought it all through. You've got to weigh the pros and the cons of every single option to justify why your choice is the strongest one for that particular business. Let's use this PNP Paint scenario to see it in action. To evaluate like a pro, you have to structure your thoughts just like this table. Lay out a balanced argument, look at the good and the bad of each choice, and always tie it back to the case study specifics.
So, the big question is, which option is best? It seems simple, right? But here's a little secret. The top answers, the ones that get the highest marks, they don't just say A or B. They add a little something extra, a layer of nuance. And that little something is the "it depends" rule. For PNP Paint, the best option really depends on what they care about most. If their number one goal is fast growth, then option A, with its bigger capacity, is probably the winner. But if they're worried about taking on too much debt, then the cheaper option B is the smarter play.
So what's the big takeaway here? Your final judgment can't just come out of nowhere. It has to be the logical endpoint of the analysis you've already built. It all connects, you state your decision, you back it up with evidence, you explain why the other options aren't as good, and then you add that killer "it depends" layer to really show you're thinking on another level.
Phew! Okay, we have covered a lot. So let's pull it all together into a simple master plan you can use to attack any big question in your IGCSE Business exam.
Just think of these 3 skills as your toolkit. Application is your context. It proves you've read and understood the scenario. Analysis is your explanation. It shows you can think logically. And evaluation, that's your final justified decision, proving you can think like a real business leader.
And please, remember this. Nobody is just born knowing how to do this stuff. These skills are like muscles. The only way you make them stronger is by using them. It's all about practice, practice, practice.
So that's what I want to leave you with today. Which one of these 3, application, analysis, or evaluation, do you feel is your weakest link right now? Be honest with yourself. Then go find a practice question and start building that muscle. You can totally do this. Now go crush that exam.